Formation, nobody down here to the bottom. Tyree going to pull it.
Nothing.
And, nothing. He bounces it out left side, catches a block. 45 midfield, there goes Tyree down the far sideline. 20, 10, touchdown! Wildcat! What were you saying? Nothing turns into a lot.
Welcome into Inside LMG. Interviews, how-tos, news, and insights in the Lee Marketing Group.
Today we get to meet the voice of the Wildcats and the president of R&B Media, Brett Pritchard.
I've always wanted to call football my whole life, since I was a little kid. Watching NFL games, college games on TV, I just thought it was cool, and I always ran around the house imitating what the announcers were saying. And got to Auburn University and had a chance to work in the sports information department and work alongside Jim Fife and some of those guys. Jim Fife was my idol growing up, listening to Auburn football on the radio when every game used to not be on TV. So I learned a lot that way, and graduated from Auburn in 1999, and Gary Burkett at the radio station here at the time that owned the radio station in Alex City called me and asked me if I would be interested in broadcasting Benjamin Russell games, and that's when I got started. And Steve Savarese helped. He was an integral part in the stadium behind us here in really getting Benjamin Russell football back to a level that we're all accustomed to here in Alexander City. And he's now the executive director of the Alabama High School Athletic Association, and he came up to speak at a quarterback club, and actually not a quarterback club, but a 12-man event back in 2007. And he was there to talk to the team or talk to the boosters and just talk about his time here in Alex City. And I just went up in casual conversation and said, Coach, this is an opportunity that we'd love to do. There's really nothing out there for the state championship games. There was no networks. Hard to believe in 2006, 2007, there was no AHSA radio network. So talked to Coach Sav there. He said, we're actually doing a bid process. What you need to do is contact us at the office, submit a bid proposal, and we'll award the bid based on the qualifications. And we received the bid, and we jumped into it feet first with all the liability and expense on our back. The HSA didn't provide anything. They told us going in that we were to build it from the ground up. So we literally built it from one affiliate to the next, to the next, to the ground up to where we are today with over 20 affiliates varying, throughout the state of Alabama, depending on what events we do. But I've been doing it since 2007. That's how I got started. Well, I am going to write a book one day, I think. I've actually started it. And basically, to be able to travel around the state and so, again, you see what we have behind us, and we're blessed at Alexander City to have a facility like this. It's one of the top, if not the best high school facility in the state of Alabama, bar none, and one of the best in the Southeast. So we, right here, our teams are able to play on home games Friday nights here in a spectacular facility. But going around, we have a term we use in our group called it's an away stadium when things go wrong. And when we mean that is you don't really know what you're going to get when you go to some of these stadiums. Some of the floors might be rotten. You might be scared you're going to fall through, and so you might be stuck up on a roof with 30-mile-an-hour winds. You might be in your car with a tarp on the top of your car with a tarp hanging over you in a pouring rainstorm because they don't have any room for you. You just have a lot of challenges on the road, but it makes it fun. We kid about it, create good memories, and no matter what the situation is, we're able to deliver the broadcast to everybody. Watch and listen. I mean, really, that's how I got started, and it's just like anything else in this world. You got to have a passion to do it. You got to really like doing it. You got to enjoy it. I look forward to Friday nights. I enjoy coming out and being able to call the football games, and now doing it for the HSA. I have to admit, it's pretty cool to hear our broadcast teams being piped through the intercom system at Jordan-Hare Stadium and Bryant-Denny Stadium. It's pretty good feeling. But just to listen, watch games, listen to what they say, learn the terms, learn the vocabulary, and that's really the best thing that you can do. And then start practicing. I know it feels weird, but practice. Mute the TV and call it like you were calling a game, and maybe tape yourself and kind of kick it back. And I had a guy that told me a long time ago, getting in the business, when sometimes you walk out of that booth and you'll feel like you didn't do a very good job, and sometimes you walk out and say, man, that might be the best broadcast that's ever been on high school radio. And you listen back, and whether it's the worst one you felt like it was or the best one, you find out it's probably somewhere in the middle. So it's not as bad as you think it is, and it's not always as good as you think it is. It's always somewhere in the middle, so you can always improve. A lot of great memories on this field, seen a lot of great players. Most everybody knows about Jamarcus Russell and what a great quarterback he was for LSU. And he played on this field twice against us. In 2000, we were able to, he was a freshman for Williamson High School, and he came up here, and we beat them in overtime. This end zone right here, we beat them 18-15, and that was a final game to propel us to the state championship game in 2000. When we played Homewood and unfortunately lost in 5 overtimes, but went back the next year in 2001 and got revenge against Homewood and won a state championship there. But 4 plays from the 10-yard line here. This place was electric, was packed, a semifinal game, so you can just imagine the noise level. And Williamson, for whatever reason, chose to throw the ball 4 times down here, and we held them out of the end zone and won that game 18-15. Just that is a spectacular memory. I won't ever forget how much electricity there was in the air before the game and then after. Yeah, fishing's number one. I really enjoy that. Freshwater and saltwater. Don't get a chance to do saltwater as much as I would like, being, as far as we are away from the Gulf, but nearer than a lot of people, so blessed to do that. But also, a hobby that I enjoy, I like sports memorabilia. I have a ton of sports memorabilia, and I have a room dedicated to that, and I think my wife thinks it's a bunch of dust collectors, but I like it, and it's something that I can pass along one day to my family. I know Charles is going to think I stole this one, but I've always admired Thomas Jefferson. I really have. I've read a lot of stuff on Thomas Jefferson and been to his home place at Monticello and been able to tour that, and he's always been one of those American heroes that I've always been able to admire. Jesus Christ, man, I would love to be able to, I mean, how awesome would that be to be able to sit down and have a meal with him, and as being a Christian, that would be outstanding and cool. And third one, I don't know. That's a good question. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's my favorite athlete. I'd like to be able to hang out with him, for a couple hours and talk to him. And I've always admired him and where he came from, and, not being the greatest in college, but becoming maybe the greatest player ever in the NBA. So those would be my 3. I didn't steal it, Charles. I didn't steal it.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great videos. And if you're looking to make your business grow, contact LMG today, 256-825-0197, or visit us online at leemarketing.net. Thanks for watching.